Rumburak's new script, a fairy tale about power, fear, and the art of inventing reality. Prologue, the Fairy Kingdom. Once upon a time, there was a great radiant fairy kingdom that towered above all the others. The towers of the capital shone in the sunlight, and the inhabitants firmly believed that their walls were unbreakable. In the castle sat the king, not particularly wise, but a man surrounded by cunning advisors. At his side was the royal court, who advised him, magicians, scribes, and jesters, who always knew how to soothe the people. Rumburak, the shapeshifter. But in the shadows of the palace lurked Rumburak, a mighty shapeshifter. No one knew where he came from, but he knew the secrets of stories. Reality, he whispered, is only what people believe. Let me write their fairy tales, and the world will dance like a marionette. Rumburak now called himself Mr. Maya, the chronicler of the court. He wrote scripts for events that had not yet happened, and he knew that if the story was strong enough, reality would follow it. The prophecy of the 7 dwarfs. In a hidden tower, Rumburak presented a scroll to the king. Majesty, I have a script. It tells of 7 dwarfs from a distant land who will turn your towers into dust. The king was horrified. But why would they do that, he asked. That is irrelevant, smiled Rumburak. What matters is that everyone believes it. If they believe your enemies are overwhelming, they will follow you wherever you lead. In the original fairy tale, the 7 dwarfs were harmless. They carried small hammers and tiny backpacks. But in Rumburak's version, they became brilliant flight masters who could steer magical birds into the towers with incredible precision. The court in panic unrest broke out in the palace. The king feared for his crown, the court for their power. They summoned the so-called good wizards who were supposed to uncover the truth. One of them, Master Vigo, wanted to get to the bottom of things. He studied old spellbooks and quietly said, Majesty, steel walls do not simply collapse on their own. The story Rumburak is writing does not fit the laws of nature, but the king did not want to hear it, nor did the court. They feared that without Rumburak's script, the people might ask what had really happened, and so they sent Master Vigo away. The fairy tale comes true. On the day of the great catastrophe, the people of the kingdom saw the 2 tallest towers suddenly sink into themselves. The earth shook, smoke rose, and fear settled over the land like a veil. Then something even stranger happened. The 3rd tower fell, though no magical bird had touched it. No one understood it. And yet in every street of the realm, the same story could be heard, the story Rumburak had spun weeks earlier. The 7 dwarfs destroyed everything. The king must protect us now. Some wondered how the court knew so quickly what had happened. Others noticed nothing at all. For Rumburak's story spread like a spell through every magic mirror, every speaking shell, every royal chronicle. Whoever heard the tale saw the world through Rumburak's eyes. The people of questioners. But deep in the forest there were people who were not entirely convinced. They had seen how the 3rd tower fell, and they remembered that never before had a steel wall turned to dust by fire alone. They asked, if the story is true, why have the royal wizards developed no new protective spells? Why do our own towers still stand without reinforcement? Rumburak replied with yet another spell. Doubters are dangerous. Whoever asks betrays the kingdom. And so the questioners were pushed aside, while the fairy tale kept spinning. Epilogue. The Empire of Fools years later, Rumburak sat in his tower and looked upon his work. He had transformed the fairy kingdom. The people now believed whatever he wrote in his scrolls, and the king was more powerful than ever before. But Rumburak knew one thing. His spells would last only as long as no one sang the old songs, the ones that told of towers that cannot fall by fire alone. For fairy tales are powerful. But reality is patient.